Alright, welcome everyone to Let's Play Touhou 13, 10 Desires. Yeah, I honestly should have done this like a month ago, but, a lot has happened. So initially what happened is, my main computer that I like to use, I had to send it in to repairs because the motherboard kinda went AWOL. So, I wanted to put off like the main game LPs since I like recording the main game LPs on this particular computer because it's just set up very efficiently for me. I did the Ultra LPs on a different computer, an older one, and what had happened was I would get audio desyncs in every recording I did, so I'd have to manually go in and fix that every time I made a video, and you might not have even noticed that because, you know, I fixed the desync with, like, a video editor, but it was really annoying having to have that stupid desync issue. So, I really did not want to bother doing, like, the main series LPs on that computer, so I was gonna wait for the repair to come back, but then I guess I just never had the drive to do this, but I'm definitely going to try again, because I do want to get these LPs kind of out there. I know I should have been putting them out there a while ago. I also want to say I don't think I'm going to be continuing the Let's Decipher LOLK series because I don't really have the motivation for it, and also we're getting really close to the LOLK episode anyway, so I might as well just do the LOLK episode as the LOLK episode. Plus, I did do a recording for Stage 2, and the entire audio of it didn't record. Don't worry, I always check nowadays to make sure that the audio records, but back then, let's just say, the audio didn't record well, or rather, it didn't even record at all, so I don't even have the footage, like, proper for that. So, I'd have to re-record LOLK Deciphering Episode 2 again after having already done a recording of it. And I don't really want to do that, especially since a lot of the stuff I was figuring out, like, how can I re-figure something out if I've already figured it out, you know? Anyway, that was a lot of rambling. Let's just talk about, like, the actual game in question at 10 Desires. So, this is the 13th game in the series, and it actually has a lot of sentimental value to me. As you can see from my score file, which I actually did keep from the release, this is a game that this is my first new Touhou release, is what I'm trying to say. You know, when everyone gets into Touhou, there's always that time where a new Touhou game is announced. Someone might have gotten into it in 2013, and the first new game that was announced when they were into Touhou was DDC. When I was first into Touhou, UFO was the new thing, but it had come out a year before I even really knew about Touhou. So my first new, like, actual release for Touhou was 10 Desires, and back then I was a normal mode player, so it was all hyped up and stuff, and I remember watching the Japanese Nico streams of the games for the first time and seeing what Nico looked like for the first time, and it was all well, good, and fun. And because of that, 10 Desires has a bit of a special place in my heart. I mean, I won't say that the game is without flaws. I mean, it's definitely not, I guess I wouldn't say that it's, like, the best game ever, and it's definitely not my favorite, but it is a game that I really, really enjoy, so I'm really happy to be doing an LP of it. Something about this game is that the difficulty curve was lowered, in response to UFO being so hard. Zune even put that in his initial blog post announcing this game, that he was going to make the difficulty lighter, and he did. And that made 10 Desires really infamous. A lot of people got the impression that it was just really bland and boring, and I can understand why they'd say that for some parts. But I think I genuinely enjoy this game because I don't really take it as bland, rather I take it as relaxing, and also not everything in the game is trivial, so, I mean, there are still some things that you need to, like, have some good dodging skill for, so I wouldn't just completely underestimate this game like that, especially not when it's got such an exploitable system like the Trance system. So yeah, I think that's it for all the opening rambles. So let's just go ahead and hop into Lunatic mode, of course. So this game has 4 characters. It has Reimu, Marissa, Sane, and Yomu. I'm not going as Yomu, that's for sure, because I don't want to showcase the gimmicky shot right off the bat. I don't think I want to play Reimu either because of the fact that with Reimu, I already have a No Miss No Bomb No Trance clear as her on the channel. So I don't really see any reason to play through again as Reimu if I'm gonna do more 10 Desires footage on my channel, which leaves me with Marissa and Sane, and honestly I don't think I'm sadistic enough to do Sane, or not sadistic, more like masochistic. Anyway, the point is that Marissa is the one I'm gonna be playing with. It's gonna be a bit disadvantageous for me, but I mean, hey, there's nothing wrong with a little challenge. I also intend to make full use of the Trance system itself, even though I'm doing no bombs, since I feel like if I'm gonna LP 10 Desires, it's good practice to showcase the Trance system. If I do any no Trance shenanigans, it'll be in the extra or something. So, yeah. Also, I don't have the English patch installed. I should have done that beforehand. I actually forgot to, and then, like, halfway through my initial ramble, I realized, oh no, the English patch isn't here. But I'm not gonna go back to fix that, because, you know, I've already started the run. So, I mean, I think most people already kind of get this game's plot anyway, and I'd like to say that my LPs are more geared towards the gameplay itself anyway. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and introduce the gameplay. So, since we're in Stage 1, it's a perfect time to just mention the basic system in this game, which is the Trance system. So you might have noticed there's like a little gauge down in the bottom left of the screen, and once you fill it up to 3 spirits, you can press the C button and activate this trance. And what it does is that timer is the length of your trance, and you're basically invincible, and you can just destroy things really awesomely and fly around the screen like a madman if you're Marissa. So you can get into some kind of trance when you've filled up that gauge to 3 spirits and press the C key. And to fill it up, you have to gather these spirits. So the spirits will come from enemies, and for the stage enemies themselves, more spirits will spawn if you kill the enemy faster when it appears on the screen. If you let an enemy live for a long time, it'll like not drop that many spirits depending on how late you kill it. So you want to be actively doing your enemy killings, which is a little hard as Marissa here, but it's okay. Also, I should point out that if you were to die, you will automatically deplete your trance gauge, even if you only have 1 spirit filled. So that is technically another way you can get into a trance, dying with... You only need 1 gauge or more full to do a death trance. But, ideally you don't want to die with a trance and stuck, especially not if you're planning to use that trance on certain stage sections. And I'll explain more about that later. First we gotta introduce our Stage 1 boss, which is Yuyuko. Yeah, I remember when the 10 Desires demo came out, and I was like, what? Yuyuko? That doesn't make any sense. But it actually does make sense in the plot of this game, because, the general plot, something spirits have appeared, and everyone wants to know what it's about, and they think Yuyuko is responsible because she's like the Netherworld princess, so that's why we're fighting her. But she isn't the culprit, obviously. She's the Stage 1 boss here. So, as I was saying about the trance system, actually, before that, I want to point out that one of the best ways to get spirits is by milking the bosses. And what I mean by that is, the farther you are from a boss, the less spirits that will spawn when you're damaging them. So what you want to do is you want to try to get up close when you can, when the bullet fields let you. Might be a little difficult on Lunatic. Also, if you're bombing, you'll want to hug the bosses too, because, as I said before, if you're very, very close to a boss, you'll get more spirits depending on how close you are. And that really helps fill up the trance gauge. In fact, right here on this spell, you might want to stop shooting when you have to move farther away so that you can save some HP from the boss, that way you can get more spirits. And so why? Why do you want trances? Why are trances so important? Well, you might have seen that every time I pick up a purple spirit, I get a life piece, and every time I pick up a bomb spirit, I get a bomb piece, like a green bomb spirit. And you get these spirits by killing certain enemies on stages and by ending a boss spell and not dying to Yuko's final spell while trying to milk. I might as well just reset. I mean, it's stage 1, it's no big deal. I figure a longer video might be better anyway, since I haven't uploaded anything since so long. So, the basic strategy for this game is to plan your trances onto opportune stage sections so that you can get a lot of resources, because when you are in a trance, every resource spirit you get is doubled. So you'll get 2 life pieces if you get a pink spirit, and 2 bomb pieces if you get a bomb spirit. So yeah, that's why you want to be strategic about your trances and trance on certain stage sections, which also means it really sucks if you were to die with the trance and stuck, especially if there's no resource spirits coming up soon, which basically means you miss out on resources, but yeah. Is there anything else I want to say about the trance system? I guess I can say that every character has their own unique gimmick when it comes to trancing. So Marissa's, as you might have seen, is that she just goes super fast. Yeah, her movement speed gets crazy, and she's pretty strong during a trance too. Reimu's special little gimmick is that her trances will automatically collect spirits. As you saw, I had to manually go up to the spirits during my trance to actually collect them. With Reimu, you don't have to do that, because the spirits will just come to you. With Sane, Sane's trance gauge takes less time to fill up, or rather, it takes less spirits to fill up, so you can get trances a lot faster with Sane, although because her DPS is so low, I don't know if it's still faster than the other characters in a lot of situations, but it might be. I don't play as Sane, so I don't really know. And Yomu, she's got some weird slash gimmick going on with her shot type, which I'll show in a later video. And Yomu's trance is kind of weird because she only slashes like right in front of her, but it's super powerful like Marissa's. I don't think there's anything else left in the trance system there's to talk about. I think I basically covered everything. I just noticed my keyboard is really far into my desk, so it kind of felt weird that my arms were having to extend into the desk. I didn't even notice that until I was playing, and it kind of felt awkward, but it's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do that stop shooting strat, because obviously I'd want to get some extra spirits. So my goal here is to try to get a trance during the duration of this spell, which I failed at last time because I wasn't doing my proper milking, but I was also deep into explanations and stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to go ahead and trance about now, get my spirits, and then I can go ahead and do a lot of damage to that spell right off the bat. Actually, what I should have done, which would have been even smarter, was... actually, no, I couldn't have done it. Never mind. Just disregard anything I just said. I was gonna say I could have tranced at the beginning of the spell, but I forgot I didn't actually have a full trance at that point, so I couldn't have done that strat. There's a way to get an extra life piece and an extra bomb piece from Yuko. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and go into stage 2. So, you want to start on the top right, because that's where the enemies spawn from. And as you can see, since I'm killing them pretty quickly and kind of point-blanking them, I'm getting tons of spirits to them. I don't know if you have to point-blank them to get the benefits from them. I'm not actually sure about that. Maybe, maybe not. But I do know that killing enemies as soon as they appear is really good for spirits, and I do tend to feel like I get more spirits if I'm closer to them, but I can't 100% confirm that. So stage 2, once you get to this part, you'll want to try to get some spirits and have about a full gauge around this point. There's going to be a trance coming up soon. Try to kill enemies on both sides of the screen, If you're not Reimu and you don't have homing, it might be a little hard to finish all these off. Oh well. Trance about here. Get these resource fairies. There's like 5 fairies that appear and they all give lots of resources, so make use of them. Now this part right here, you can memorize the fairy spawn points and milk them for spirits. However, if that's too much to handle, you can always just stream it because everything here is aimed directly at you. Just stream. Alright, now for the mid-boss, who has some interesting ears that are like red and fluffy. So she's got this gimmick going on, and you'll see this in all of her non-spells, where she'll take bullets and then she'll like reflect them off of a surface, which can get a little bit weird, but if you leave the like barrier areas, you get an easier time to dodge, so just kind of leave them. This spell is a fantastic part to milk spirits for, though make sure you go a bit down when the actual bullets appear so you don't kill yourself, unless you're really confident in your abilities of milking, which by all means. Maybe you could even get a trance right after that spell, which I never do. And I want to try to get enough spirits for the next trance coming up, so I'm gonna try to milk these fairies right here. It's actually very important that I get that trance. Okay, I got it, good. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and trance here, because there is a lot of resource fairies to appear here. So yeah, cashing in on those resources. There you go. I could have waited for my trance, because if you are in a trance during a boss dialogue, your trance will stop and you'll keep the remaining trance gauge, so I could have waited there, but last time I did that, I didn't get all the enemies because the boss spawned before the enemies finished spawning, so as a result the enemies didn't even appear, and I missed resources on my last LP take, so I'm not doing that this time. Anyway, here's our Stage 2 boss. This is Kyoko. She is, oh god, what is she called? A Yamabiko? Some kind of mountain echo yokai. Basically her power lies in her voice and her echoes, so that's why she has those barriers. So the first non-spell is static and aimed at you. So the pattern itself is just a crisscrossy thing that basically depends on where you are when it fires. So you can kind of memorize it, and don't be afraid to go out of the barriers. I know Robin said something about going out of the barriers as being a chicken, but I would definitely advise against staying in the barriers the whole time because you're basically on a suicide mission. I actually think that the non-spells were basically designed to go outside the barriers, but I don't know. Alright, second non. So what you'll want to do is, obviously, you'll want to go near the side on the second wave. And what I like to do is I like to go on the wave away from her, because if I go on the wave away from her on the second wave, I won't have to deal with too much of an overlap from those bullets. But if I had stayed towards her during that wave, I most certainly would have probably died. Alright, now this spell, you really need to know how the bubble hitboxes work because, yeah, it requires you to do a lot of crazy bubble dodging sometimes, especially if she goes in the middle. Usually if she goes to the side, that spell is really easy because you don't have to deal with as much overlap, but if she goes in the middle, oh man, is it weird, and I almost actually died there. I'm amazed I didn't. Alright, I need to start focusing now. So on this last spell, the goal is to misdirect the bubble wave to the corners and a little bit upwards if you can, because these barriers will pick up bullets. I'm a little worried though, because if the barrier doesn't pick up the bullets, I might be screwed. Looks like I got lucky this time though, so you know what? I'll just take that victory. Alright, and that was Kyoko, our Stage 2 boss. So let's go ahead and move on to Stage 3 and see what we might find. And where we end up is a cemetery. What? So yeah, we're apparently going to a cemetery. This is actually the cemetery at the Myorn Temple or something. So I wonder why we were sent here. But however, it's not that weird considering the game revolves around spirits and stuff, I guess. So these fairies right here, they all fire aim stuff at you, so you can stream it, etc. Try not to do that section like I did there. What I like to do is I like to go on the side of the screen where the fairies spawn and then stream the Wisp's aim stuff. These fairies right here will drop resources. I don't have a trance here because I don't bomb on Kyoko, so I can't really get some of the things. Oh man, those enemies were kind of blocking that purple spirit there, and I didn't want to take that risk. A trick I like to use there is I like to stop shooting so I can get the spirit, but I didn't trust myself to go through those wisps and come back down safely. So surprisingly, I didn't actually get the spirits there, which is really odd because that never happens to me. Anyway, let's go ahead and fight the mid-boss. So it's Kogasa. This is her attempt at surprising us, and it legitimately surprised me at first when I saw that she was going to be in this game, especially as the mid-boss of Stage 3, like, you know, trial and all that. But anyway, what you'll want to do is, at some point, you'll want to trance this spell, and then get the resource fairies that come after her. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll get both life pieces, so... Well, look, both life pieces during the trance. I still got both of the spirits, but I didn't get them during the trance. But it's okay. I doubled at least one of them, so that's good enough for me. Alright, so where were we? So this part right here, again, it's more aiming, more streamed aiming, so just kind of stream it. Pretty easy. You'll want to be on the left at the end of this, though, because the next wave of wisps will spawn from the left. You want to be careful when you are milking these wisps because, as you notice, when you kill them, they fire aim stuff at you, little suicide bullets. I don't know if it's like this on hard or any of the other difficulties. I think it's a Lunatic exclusive thing, but yeah, be careful. So where are we? We are at the Stage 3 boss, and if we're at a cemetery, I mean, I'm sure you can guess what our boss is going to be. It's got to be some type of undead, right? Yeah, it's a zombie, or a Zhangxi. This is Yoshika. So yeah, she's a zombie, and you can probably tell that based on how she's moving. The little thing on her head is kind of what demonstrates that she's being controlled by someone. By who, we'll meet later on. But the point is that she's here to stop us because apparently there's like this entrance to a mausoleum somewhere in the cemetery, and she's guarding the entrance. So, her non-spells are kunai nons. Ugh. Don't worry, the first one shouldn't be too bad, although there are the situations where you might get stuck away from her, and that does suck. But because most of the yellow stuff is aimed downwards, you don't have to worry too much as long as you macro all of that. This spell right here, she introduces her gimmick of eating spirits to recover HP. So what this means is that you need to make sure that you don't kill wisps in this. So in order to capture it, you've got to go out of the middle, obviously. And when you're outside of the middle, just stop shooting, because again, if you shoot, she'll regenerate HP. And that's how you capture that. I don't think I can get a trance for the third non, which is really unfortunate. But oh well. I wasn't expecting to get it anyway. So the second non, you obviously got to be somewhere in the middle because of the two yellow things going towards the sides. Be very careful of stray kunai. I'll go ahead and do a little milking at the start of this spell. This spell is random dodging crisscross stuff. It's probably her most difficult one for me. It's one that you can't underestimate by any means. Usually it's nice, but sometimes it throws this really weird wave at you, and yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna try to get a trance here if I can. I didn't succeed. Oh no, I'm so close to a trance, but not quite there. Alright, this is gonna get a little ugly then. This non-spell is really evil, especially if you're not Reimu. If you're Reimu, you can go away from the middle and just kind of let your unfocused do the trick, but I wasn't Reimu, so I couldn't do that. Oh well. Can I seriously not get this final spirit for the trance? I want to get a trance. Anyway, This spell, don't even bother trying to capture unless you're doing like a full spell run or something. Basically, the only way to capture it is to go through the lasers before they curve and get the spirits so that she doesn't regenerate. It's a huge pain in the ass. It is very risky, especially if you're not Reimu. And the only one who can reliably capture this is Yomu, who's somehow strong enough to kill this before before the timer runs out. Yeah, Yomu is very, very, very strong in this game, despite her weird gimmick, which gives her tons of advantages here and there. Anyway, that was our stage 3 boss. So let's just go ahead and move on to stage 4. Into that tunnel or whatever's next. So you'll want to start off doing some streaming because these opening fairies have some really wide-aimed stuff at you. And finally, I get that trance filled. I tried to get it filled on the 3rd non, and then I tried to get it filled on the 3rd spell, and then finally it gets filled in stage 4. Though I'm not salty though, because I didn't die. I had wanted to use the trance on the 3rd non or the 3rd spell to save myself from death. Anyway, I'm not going to use it here because it's a no bombs run, so I don't really care for the bombs pieces. Since I'm not going to be using the bombs anyway, I'll be using them later. There's going to be fairies here that are going to be spawning some resources, which is really, really nifty. I'm going to wait for the life ones to appear though before I use my trance. But I'm not going to use it immediately because I want to save my trance for this annoying mid-boss appearance. I hate this non, I do not like it, and I do not want to deal with it, so I'm trancing during it. The spell card, on the other hand, is quite reasonable. So these little inverted bubble things will follow you and kind of aim at what your position is, so you'll want to do some misdirecting on them in order to stay away from them. Though be very careful because I will honestly say these have some really funky movement patterns, and even I don't fully understand them sometimes. Just make sure that you don't kill this spell too fast because the transition to the next part in the stage will be really wonky if you do. So now for a spam section. So the spam section has 3 different waves to it. You'll want to trance on the hardest one, obviously, which is going to be obviously the 3rd one. The first 2 are more than dodgeable, and they give you tons of spirits, so even if you have nothing, you will still get a trance filled up for this 3rd wave. So I'm going to try to last as long as I can until I see that death is coming, and then I will trance, so that I don't die. And you'll get tons of spirits here, so it's really good for score, too. There are some resource fairies here as well, so if you delay your trance a bit, you can get those life pieces while you're in the trance, which is really good. The remaining spirits are just bomb fairies, but still useful if you can somehow manage to time your trance to get those doubled as well. So this is the entrance to the Great Mausoleum, and let's go ahead and meet our boss. We saw her earlier. This is Sega. Her name is written as Sega Nyan Nyan for some reason, which I assume is some really obscure joke from Zune. But her actual name is Sega Kaku. And you might have noticed by now, by the presence of Yoshika, that she is in fact the master of Yoshika. Yeah, so I think you can see where we're going here. But yeah, double boss fight. Although the thing is that in order to proceed in any of the attacks, you have to kill Sega, not Yoshika, because Sega will revive Yoshika, so it's not really a double boss, but it's kind of a double boss. Anyway, be careful about killing Yoshika on this first spell, by the way, because one thing about Sega's resurrections is that when she revives Yoshika, it always comes with this flurry of bullets, and if you kill Yoshika on this, then you might get walled. I mean, it's still possible to dodge those bullets that she fires, but it can be really annoying, so just be careful. For this non-spell, you have the option of staying on the bottom, but I never do because I always die. I don't really know what happened there. What I try to do here is I try to wait as long as possible before moving up, but I moved up too early at that point, which killed me. What you want to do is you want to be far from the boss. You want to be on the wall farthest from the boss. It gets a little weird if she's in the middle, But as long as you wait till last second before moving up, you're generally safe, so I'm actually really surprised I had died there. But oh well. Can't do anything about that, I guess. I got a little spooked by the formation, but really, generally, as long as you keep moving up, you'll be safe. Anyway, Tongling Yoshika, for this spell, what you want to do is you want to start off by killing Yoshika, obviously, because what happens with Yoshika is that she like slowly moves down the screen, and if she gets to the bottom, it'll be really obnoxious. So make sure that you're, unlike the first spell, you actually want to kill her this time. And the perfect time to damage Seiga is whenever she's reviving Yoshika. So that's when you want to damage Seiga. After 3 waves of spinning, you should be able to finish her off. I think I'm doing a... If I had full power, I would have been able to kill that spell on that one wave, but because I had died at the second non, I was kind of stuck for power. 10 Desires is not a game you want to die in, by the way, because this game is very, very brutal on the power. If you die, you lose 1 full power unit, which can really hurt on some attacks. Like, already you can see I'm at 2 power, and I've only died twice. There are other ways of handling Tongling Yoshika, but I always do the way that I do, because it just works for me. Anyway, so for this spell, you'll want to do a lot of alternating from the sides of the screen. It is possible to do this in the middle, but I don't, because honestly I don't like doing it in the middle. It's way too risky and complicated for me. I prefer to play it safe and go to the sides, although because I only have 2 power, I am at a huge risk of timing this out. Kind of makes me a little annoyed there, because I don't like timing things out. Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, because on the last spells in 10 Desires, like on the final spell of each boss, even if you time out the spell, you won't lose spirits, because, life spirits, because the bosses don't get you life spirits anyway if you kill the last spells. So I'm not losing anything, I guess, but it's still annoying, because I have to wait 40 seconds for it to be over. It's a pretty easy spell, though, as long as you're doing your streaming. So let's just go ahead and see what we have going in stage 5. So it starts off with these weird fairy formations. Yeah. And then a bunch of fairies start spawning from the right. Yeah, a bunch of fairies come from the right, actually. It's kind of weird. But you can get a ton of spirits as long as you stick to the right wall. I think I'll be able to fill up my trance gauge just from this. Not quite, I guess. It's kind of annoying being at 2 power, because these are not dying as soon as they should. Thank God Zune reduced the penalty in DDC, because this is just obnoxious. Anyway, for this section here, it's a good place to bomb to get some spirits out of it. Since I'm doing a no bombs run, I can't take advantage of that, obviously, and I'm not killing anything. This is really annoying. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and trance here. I'm not gonna bother with those green spirits because I can't get any more spirits from that anyway. This spell right here is a little annoying. So the dealio is that these yellow lightning bolts aren't going straight down. They're going straight down and to the left or to the right. You won't really get to know if they're going left or right until they kind of reach you. So they can be a little bit confusing. I don't find it to be that difficult of a spell, and it's not even a spell that I fail often, but it's still a spell that you've got to watch out for. Since I killed the mid-boss so quickly with my trance, I'm getting some extra fairies, which helps me fill up my gauge, so no complaints here. I get some power from these too, which is really good, because I'd like to get my power back after having to lose basically all of it on that one section of Seiga. So I've got full power. I should be getting full trance pretty soon as well, hopefully. Come on. Not even getting a full trance, god damn it. Alright, so for this part, you'll want to kill the middle fairy first, and then kill the fairies on the right. And Wow! Wow! That was the most insane RNG I've ever had on that set. Okay, maybe not the most insane, but wow! That was pretty bad. But yeah, that's the trick to doing that. You might have wondering, why didn't I trance there? The reason is because I think I have a higher capture rate on that part of the stage than on this boss's first spell. This boss coming up right now, she's got a really hard first spell, and I don't trust myself to capture it, so I wanted to save my trance if I could. And it looks like it paid off. So this is Mononobe no Futo. Yeah, she's got that fancy no in her name. So she's been resurrected. Yeah, big plot twist. All the spirits have something to do with historical figures resurrecting. I think she's based on, I guess, the Mononobe clan, of course. Or some, wait, is it the Mononobe? I'm not even gonna talk about the plot. Let's just talk about the boss. So she's got an awesome theme. Enough said, honestly. Alright, so what I'm going to do for this first non is just kind of follow the lanes here. You do not have to micro this non, so don't feel like you have to. Then I'm going to damage this spell as much as possible. You can misdirect the boat upwards if you want to, but I'm not going to bother since I'm planning to trance anyway. And I'm going to go ahead and trance right here because I'm about to die. Kill this off, and then I'm going to try to kill this non-spell off before it gets stupid. I think I can. Yes, okay. I perfectly timed that trance so that I would kill not only the first spell, but also the second non as well. The second non can be done with microing and macroing. Obviously you didn't see it because I killed it, but if you watch my No Miss No Bomb No Trance, you can see that second non in action if you're having trouble with it or something. The only person who dies to this spell, by the way, is Ghost. Okay, so you should be fine on that second spell. Third non, so you want to micro every wave, essentially. Do not macro a single wave, because I don't even think it's possible, even with Marissa's speed. And you wouldn't even want to risk it with Marissa because of her hitbox. Third spell, so this is a lot like that one attack from Show, and god damn it, those things were like closing in on me. I was gonna see if there was a way to macro out of that, but I guess I didn't see the gap right, and maybe I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Damn it! I wanted to not die on Futo. That spell is kind of annoying. Like, it isn't really hard, but sometimes it's really weird. It's no fun dodging glowing bullets. Anyway, the last spell is a spinning around spell. You can trivialize this spell by not shooting and just timing it out. But I'm gonna shoot it because I like to end things and I don't like timing stuff out, which is probably gonna result in my death because screw this amulet phase. I know this amulet phase isn't as bad as I make it out to be, but I've lost a No Miss No Bomb No Trance run to that before, so yeah, I'm salty on that spell. I've lost a lot of things to that spell, honestly. So let's just go ahead and hop into stage 6 here. This stage is going to give you a lot of spirits. So one thing to note here though is that if you kill the big fairy that's leading the wisps, you'll miss out on all the spirits that they have to spawn. So if you want to fill up your trance, don't kill the big fairy. I don't have to worry about that though anymore because I've already gotten my trance full. I could do some scoring trances here, I guess, but I don't really feel like it. I just want to focus on resources and stuff. Yeah. This section right here is pretty easy. The lasers here are very, very slow. Just try to kill one side first and then the other side second, or just kind of like move left and right and kill them as they come. Just do whatever makes you more comfortable. Alright. Now for the last part, these are going to start dropping resources, but the life pieces don't come until the end, so I'm not even going to bother with these. I will try to kill off some of the spirits here. Yeah, if you notice, if you kill these big things right here, you'll get the extra spirits. Like, you can see which spirits are the actual resource spirits by their color. So I was trying to kind of snipe out those big spirits while not killing the big fairies. That way I could get my resources from that, and it looks like it succeeded. I don't think I can get any more resources outside of the upcoming life, so I'm not going to get the 20 trance extend, but that would require lots of strategic trances and stuff, which I didn't do this run, because I'm just doing a basic run, really. So anyway, let's go ahead and introduce our final boss, Toyosato Mimi no Miko. Yeah, that name is a mouthful. Toyosato no Mimi, Toyosato Mimi, Toyosato Mimi. I love that. Yeah, she is, she has this ability that she can hear the desires of people, and so she knows the player's desires, and she just got resurrected, and she doesn't like Byakurin for some reason, and she doesn't like yokai either, something like that. She was also a prince, but I guess coming to Gensokyo means you get a gender change because it's Gensokyo and it's full of girls. I don't know. So yeah, let's just go ahead and fight Prince Shotoku in lolly form. Miko. And oh wow, I got the timer glitch. On Miko there's a weird timer glitch where like the timer numbers will like not go up at the same time. Anyway, her non-spells are annoying because they're a bunch of like micro-dodging, and yeah, you'll have to get used to that. The first one ain't too bad, but the next ones are kind of annoying. The first spell, just dodge in the middle, really. There's no other way to do it, from what I can tell. I mean, it just kind of usually dies after the first wave, unless you're Sanae. Poor Sanae. She gets the short end of the stick in this game. Alright, this second non-spell is her most threatening non-spell in my opinion. It's really random and gives you weird situations a lot, but it was fine this time. This second spell is easy, but don't underestimate it. It's an easy concept, but again, these spirits have really big hitboxes, and it might surprise you. And especially as Marissa, I'm getting some paranoia here because playing as Marissa is not fun when you're fighting things like that. And looks like we got our final extent. I want to try to get a trance coming up soon, but it doesn't look like I'll... Yeah, actually, no, I don't even want to use a trance right now. I want to save it for a spell card later. Third non-spell, she's going to add like rings to it as well, which is pretty interesting. Alright, fourth spell. So, the deal with this spell is that Futo and the stage 5 bid boss Tojiko will kind of come and start like doing things. They'll follow you, but they don't have a hitbox, so don't worry about ramming into them. Though do ram about running into Miko, because Miko, in all her glory, does have a hitbox. So what I like to do is I like to kind of like move up and go in this weird kind of circular motion for each wave. There's other ways to do it, like misdirecting Futo off screen, but this is the way that I choose because it's the way that I found most efficient. So that's just how I do it. On the last non-spell, she has some dialogue for you, which translates to something like playtime's over, and she throws some knives at you, but this is actually her easiest non-spell, so wow. Now for the fourth spell, Rip Robin's no miss from back then. So this spell is really cool actually. So what you gotta do is you gotta be looking for gaps before those like orbs activate. Then you'll want to go in the gap and you'll want to spin around. It's a pretty easy spell, but don't underestimate it. Again, that's a thing about this boss, is try not to underestimate any of the stuff she has. Now for Gusei Flash, this spell is a bit annoying because, again, I don't like these Divine Spirit bullets. I've always hated them. There's kind of a pattern going on in this spell, kind of a recognizable pattern, so you can kind of understand which spirits to go through. Like, I like to go through the purple and the yellow spirits. Also, I'd recommend anyone to try that on like 90 FPS because that spell gets insane. I've never captured it at 90 FPS. Alright. Now for the stupidity. This spell is just insane. Like, honestly, there's no words to describe it. This spell is just legitimately insane. I'm gonna go ahead and just trance it, because I'll probably die. So I'm gonna be pro-life and trance it. Even though I like to consider myself a pro... No, let's not do politics in this. No politics allowed. Alright, final spell. So, the dealio for this spell is that when you get close to a spirit, it'll activate. However, after a certain time period, Miko will automatically activate all the spirits that haven't been activated yet. But all of them aim at you. So what this is just a bunch of vertical streaming. The only real trick here is just to kind of move immediately when the things start like activating. That way you can kind of like stream them all. What you want to do is be careful about how you activate the next phase. There's like a little transition, and during that transition every spirit will activate, so you'll want to be careful about how you transition the attack, and as long as you're careful you should be fine. And there we go. Did I get 500 mil from all this? I think so. Cool. And that was stage 6 and no death Miko. Nice. I only failed her one attack because I just chose to trance it instead of capturing it. But to be honest, I am perfectly okay with trancing that attack because I don't like it. It's really hard, and I bless the good RNG I got in my LNNN. So yeah, that was 10 Desires, and so that was a 3-miss run. It wasn't too bad. It actually could have easily been a no-miss run because all the attacks I died to and all the deaths I had were pretty stupid. Although in 10 Desires, most of the mistakes I tend to make are pretty stupid because it's the type of game where all the deaths you have are dumb. Yeah. A little bit annoyed by that Sega fight, and a little bit annoyed by that Futo death, but I think the stage 6 definitely made up for it. As I said, this game is a little bit lighter on the difficulty than most of the other games, so it's actually a really easy game to get into, and one that I definitely would recommend, especially if you're starting out. And if you want to move on to like hard mode or lunatic mode, this is a great game to do it in because, again, the difficulty is very generous. There are some annoyances like the trance gauge depleting when you die and the whole 1 power on death bullshit, but you know, you gotta accept those things for what they are because the point is that they are there. And yeah, that was 10 Desires. Pretty cool game, and I guess I'll see you guys next time in the extra mode. Man, seeing Mino in and in on that scoreboard still gives me that really good feeling.